Just about.
The sky grows dark, decay underneath. The ravens in the sky, and kings shall deceive. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war at night. We have come into the night, thunder and rage and war at night. We'll fight, dark age, Ragnarok. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. The sounds of arms, fierce morality. Nightfall, the rain, and the silence bleeds. We have come into the night, thunder, rage, and war at night. We have come into the night, thunder, rage, and war at night. We'll fight, dark age, Ragnarok, shield wall. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla. I can feel it in my veins, the warrior inside of me. Bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok, bring her up for Ragnarok. Welcome to Valhalla.
Hello, everyone. We are back with the Seer. It's only been a couple weeks without it. I'm joined by Blitzkrieg Pyro. How you doing, sir?
Doing all right, doing all right. And as you said, it's been a couple weeks without the Seer, so we got a long one for you today. So buckle up, strap in, and call your friends up and get them to join the viewing party.
Grab a beverage. We're in for a ride. We're gonna go over week 6, 7, 8 games. Look at the games coming up for week 9, and look at the playoff standings as we go into the final regular season week of games. And thank you to Blitzkrieg Pyro and myself and Evbot with all these subscriptions coming in with the primes. Make sure you drop those if it's not currently being used. You'll get those 30 days of love from Valhalla Esports. And we'll jump into week 6. Think back a couple weeks.
Evbot coming in with the prime, but it's only getting us up to 93% and only 2 minutes left on the hype train.
Whew,
Come on, don't be stingy, Discord, Twitch. Come on now.
Everybody's being stingy. But the first game to go over was Go Kings against FF15. We had the Lilia, Yasuo, Malphite, Maokai, Wukong against the Morg, Misfortune, Pantheon, Mordekaiser, Zac. Looking like a pretty standard FF15 team comp. They like that Morgana for Bentage. Zac, I believe, would be top for Smoothie, while Salt's jungling with that Mordekaiser he likes to use. And then a nice
Goat King's going super. Yeah, Goat King's going super aggressive down there with the Yasuo AD carry. option.
Yeah,
Looking to go all in.
I believe this was a week for them that was basically make it or break it. So pulling out the high-powered engage, basically going for a full wombo team fight. So we'll see if that worked out for them. Looking like FF15 took game number 1, smoothly going unkillable, and each other member dying once. So I like the idea for the Goat King draft, but didn't pan out for them, unfortunately. Was a lot of meatballs they had to jump into. And it's all kind of setting up for a Hobbit, and with that new Mordekaiser ult, he could just ult him out of the fights. So that might have been rough as well. But well played them game 1. Let's look at how they change it up for the second draft. Go King's taking the Mord this time, along with Milio, Victor, Caitlyn, and a Mumu. FF15 grabbing that Skarner, Lilia once again, Misfortune, Nautilus, and Zerath. So another standard team comp for them. Looking like the top Mordekaiser. So more of a standard team fight on both sides for this one. We'll see who took this series. As FF15 took him down 2-0, and I can't remember for sure, but I think that was when they were mathematically eliminated, having lost that series. So unfortunate for the Go Kings there. Shumpo performing really strong on that Victor, a champ he's always been good on, but Covert looking very scary on this Misfortune, which we know he likes. Now we'll jump to the second series, which was Los Nomadas versus the Kraken Slayers. You want to run through this one, Blitz?
Kraken Slayers taking first pick priority on the Amumu, following up with the Sivir, the Trundle, Renata, not getting a lot of play in this league, but that's a good pick up there, and a Lux. And Los Nomadas countering with the Skarner, as we know, it's very powerful right now. The Ezreal, Anar top lane, so that would be a jungle Skarner for the Bulgaria. A Braum support, which I think Braum has a very high win rate in this league as well, and a Swain. And Swain's a popular ban in this league, so it actually got through this first game. Again, we know both these teams have the ability to pop off, especially the split push there. It looks like that's a Trundle for you, Hailstrom. So it'll be interesting to see here if you you got to do split push things, or were dragged into the team fights there. I mean, the rest of your team had a kind of a wombo combo, wanting to engage, getting them fighting each other. But I think it's a lot of beef to work through. So I think it favors Los Nomadas with the beef.
Let's check it out. We took game number 1. Asterisk got gigantic on that Lux. I believe this was the patch where she just got that buff on her passive, so she's quite strong. Eli Wood playing the Gnar very well was annoying for me, just matching me in the side lanes mostly, but has that range advantage. But basically the 4-man group with the big Lux was able to take control for us, and we got game number 1.
Nice. Well
Here for
done.
draft 2.
The draft number 2, again, Kraken Slayers on blue side, still first picking the Amumu, Sivir. Make sure they've safe lanes and the engage they want, going with the Nautilus. Garen top, again, split capability there. Trundle getting banned out for you this time. A couple more focus bans on you in the second round. And the Lissandra mid versus the Los Nomadas, Jinx, Milio, super poke aggressive bot lane, Renekton very aggressive top, Mordekaiser jungle, and Annie mid. Dude, I think we did stream these games, didn't
Yes,
we?
this one's got streamed.
'Cause
And spoilers
I
in the
remember.
chat when we're talking about the TP. Eli saying my
Yeah.
team fought when my TP was down. After I masterfully baited it out by doing a terrible engage, might I say?
I just know like every time we're like, oh, it's an Annie, it's okay, and then like Snurbopsy plays it and just pops off.
Yeah,
It's
Annie
just
is
like
pretty good right now. Just like surprising burst and the CC passive is always good.
just an underrated pick, I think.
But we see Los Matas took game number 2. Bulgaria doing very well on that Mord, along with the Redacted being unkillable on that Jinx. The Jinx Milio combo was kind of disgusting in this game, and she got big enough to where it wasn't a very playable game for us anymore.
Yeah, it's a 4-item jinx right there with end boots. So not a lot you're gonna be able to do late game.
All planned. Exactly. All planned. All planned. Now we'll jump into draft number 3.
Los Tomatas getting blue side this time, taking the Mordekaiser in the first round, following up with the Renekton Milio, comfort with the previous game, and then taking the Vayne and Karma. Vayne Milio is a very disgusting matchup, especially with lethal tempo. I hate that combo. I'm playing against it, and Kraken Slayer's taking the Maokai Ash bot lane. Nope, they're gonna flex that Maokai, looks like, to the jungle, taking the Garen top so that Hailstorm doesn't get all the bans once again, taking the Braum support and a Victor mid for themselves.
Yep.
Again, Vayne Milio bot lane is it's just, especially after that game 2, I would expect the game 3 is also going to be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, it was one where I think we probably should have banned the Milio. Unfortunately, we did not, as we'll see right here. Los Matas taking the series. Also, just the spacing against the Mordekaiser. A lot of fights he was just able to ult the. I don't know how much I wanted to force Bopsy on Renekton. Gotcha. It would have been a good counter pick for you. Camille does destroy Garen. Uh, Bulgaria able to ult carries out of the fights, and then again, as you said, the lethal tempo, which thank goodness is gone now, giving that extra range along with Milio, just made Vayne ridiculous once again.
Yeah, I don't think they were really planning that wombo there when they when they launched those together.
Yep,
Extra range. It's nice. Yes. All right,
I
let's
hate
go to the
that
next
broken
one.
rune. Me too. And now we don't have to worry about any of the Win brothers. But yeah, next game is Bomba Bros versus NRO. And game number 1, NRO blue side, grabbing that Skarner, Braum, Ezreal, Xerath, and Gwen. Bomba Bros got the Leona, Kaisa, Shaco, Talia, and Garen. Skarner very strong on that patch, so a good jungle pickup for them. And then just kind of a solid poke carries with the Xerath and Ezreal with the Braum and Skarner stand in front of them while you let Gwen just sideline. So I like the NRO comp. Bombros got the Shaco for casual plebs, so that's always scary. And then just kind of a standard run at you team fight
Yeah,
comp.
Evbot's pretty good on that Talia though, so that's
Yeah, Talia's
that's
another
very
champ
pick
that's
there.
kind of ridiculous right now. But we'll have to see if they were able to get on the enemy 4-man squad or not. Oh, it was Kid Buu jungling Gwen. Okay, I get it. And then Mines in the top. So Mines was the big tank man, but Stuff getting gigantic on that Xerath. And yeah, if he's that big, as long as they don't get engaged on, they can just poke the enemy team to death. Looks like they did that pretty well with the 20 and 9. So well
Yep,
played there
not a
in
lot.
game number 1. And then see what they took away. Took out that Xerath, probably a good idea. Same sides. Skarner again, Vayne, Braum, Ezreal, and this time Karma. So this time looks like it will be the jungle Skarner and a Vayne top. Oh yeah, I remember these screenshots. Mordekaiser, Nautilus, Smolder, Evelyn, and Pantheon. Uh, the Smolder apparently got to like 1,000 stacks or so. Like was ridiculously high.
Was this the 50-minute game where
Yeah.
Gaz got 500 farm?
Yeah, he got a ridiculous amount of farm and a ridiculous amount of stats. But we'll see how that paid off for him. Where, despite 563 farm, 19 kills, weren't able to close it out. Stuff in Mine's also getting very big, and NRO able to close it out 2-0 despite this Smolder being just gigantic. So definitely would have been a fun one to watch. But we'll jump to the next series, which is Stoner Nation versus insert name there.
All right, Stoner Nation taking the Lux, the Jinx, Blitzcrank, Wukong, Diana versus insert name there, taking the Syndra, Thresh, Trundle, Ezreal, and Lee Sin. So taking the Lee Sin. I've seen it picked a few times in this league. I think he's in a better spot. Seen him picked up more recently, but again, I'm always hesitant when somebody picks up a Lee Sin here. Got to have really good hands and timing, and your team's got to be on the same page with you.
Right.
Um,
As long as your mechanics are really good on him, but you have to be really good on him, basically.
if Stoner Nation though gets on top of you with their current team comp, they have a lot of wombo combo there with that Diana, the Wukong. Like you're just not going to get to play the game for 6, 7, 8 seconds, depending on how they layer that CC. But yeah, let's see what they did here.
We do have the Trundle backdoor option. And insert name there, taking game number 1. Had Junie subbing in for the games, so was on that AP carry in the mid lane this time, actually in the mid lane, and still popping off on that champ.
Yep, still popping off on the Syndra. Yeah, not abusing it bot lane this time.
Junie just coming back to show she still got hands.
I
But
think
here
still
for
playing the game, no, just not the league.
right. Hopefully
I
you'll join back up for full time again, Junie. We miss you.
INT on blue side this time, first picking the Zac, following it up with an Ari, Maokai, Jin, and Olaf. So a lot of rundown potential, a lot of all in there. Center Nation coming right back at them with all in for the Amumu, Jinx, Vigar, Renata, and Tryndamere. So a little bit of an interesting grouping there. They got a lot of stay off me, but also they do have the engage from the Amumu.
Right.
Not a lot of frontline beef though. So really kind of going to be reliant on some of the CC coming down and Renata getting them to smack each other a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of disengage and then have a Mumu hold them in place in the V-Guard cage. But if they do get jumped on, it gets a little scary. This time, Stern Nation going for more of the split push with the Tryndamere. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, what's that matchup look like? Olaf
Um,
Tryndamere.
I think Olaf can kill Tryndamere earlier, but then once they have ults, Tryndamere's is just better because
Right.
you don't die for 5 seconds.
Yeah, he wants you to be on top of him, and he's like,
Right.
yes, let me auto you.
But looks like insert name there, taking the victory, getting the 2-0. Omega doing well in that matchup. I think if you get that early lead, then it's a rough time. So might have been what happened.
And
Might
Junie
have also just
5-1.
been ganked and everything. But yeah, 15-3 and 13. Ridiculous. Well played them, taking series 2-0. Now we'll jump to Demonic Ascension versus, as we like to call them, Samsung Gaming or Shifting Sands Gaming. Shifting Sands grabbing the Skarner, Seraphine, Varus, Syndra, and Zinzao. Demonic Ascension have the Swain, Senna, Darius, Zac, and Hui. I think these games were also cast because I think I remember this one. Because it's the one Masters player on Zinzao, right? I think that's true. But kind of two standard beefy team comps set up to run at each other and fight. Hui's got that long range poke, and along with Varus's poke, so we'll see which team came out on top. As game 1 went the way of Shifting Sands. Avius, yeah, that's who I was trying to think of. Avius got very large on that Zinzao. And it was actually kind of nice how the game worked out for him because all the damage was long range on the side of Demonic Ascension. So when he went in and ulted, he wasn't really taking any damage while his ult was up. And then Mockingbird,
Gotcha.
unkillable for the 10-0 and 4.
Sitting there yelling at you, Avius, why can't you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Game 2, Demonic on blue side, grabbing the Maokai, Swain, Senna, Aurelia, and Yone. Shifting Sands has Braum, Zaya, Silas, Nar, and Lissandra. This one, it was all about Aurelia and Yone getting big, and if Shifting Sands could keep that from happening, then they would probably win. Jump to the score screen, And we see.
We also have an ad coming in about 20 seconds, so you can help avoid those by using your Prime subscription.
Yep, subscribe and avoid those pesky ads. We're gonna keep barreling through. But we see the Aurelia and Swain got very large. Oh yeah, Console C got the Swain, also one of the Swain mains along with Deity. And Empire for Hire just showing his hands on this Aurelia. Played really well in this game. So put it to the Silver Scrapes game 3. So Shifting Sands back on the blue side, grabbing the Varus, Thresh, Ornn, Victor, Lee Sin. Demonic Ascension has Mayo, Kaisa, Mordekaiser, Aurelia again, and Ivern. So they were hoping to pop off one more time. And Shifting Sands able to bring it back, take game number 3, and get the series.
19-0-9 Lee Sin.
Yep.
Again,
Unkillable
Masters
Lee
player.
Sin, unkillable Victor. Avius just got huge on that Lee Sin and made playing basically impossible for the side of Demonic Ascension, unfortunately for them.
Yep. Not your jungle anymore. Not your map.
And then the final game from week number 6 was HYG versus Titan Gaming Mox.
Titan Gaming Mox taking the Mordekaiser, Sejuani, Nautilus, Vex, Kaisa, HYG taking Ashe, Braum, Gwen, Jax, and Talia. So they have very strong side split between the Gwen and the Jax. A lot of 1v1 potential as well, and with even Talia just running you down. I know there is a Vex on the other side for Titan Gaming Mox, but Mordekaiser does not want to ult most of those people. I don't think. I don't think he. I don't think you're locked in with him. I think it's the other way around.
The Jax and the Mord also is kind of an annoying matchup for Mord because your combo is to EQ auto and then you get your passive really quick, but then Jax can do his counter
Denied.
strike and you can't get the auto to proc your passive. So it's one you think Mord would do well into, but just that interaction makes it kind of annoying.
Right, and getting kind of gold late game into 1v1s, like that's not fun.
Right, and then Vex is pretty good into all the dashy champs, but I think Talia would do pretty well into her. But let's see how this one went. As HYG took the game, Jeffrey Crazy getting very large. TJ, oh, it's a Jungle Jax. Okay. Perfy on the Gwen. Early it's alright for Mord, but does scale pretty well for the Gwen. Bunny Lord, you see, got a fair amount of kills along with Nithros, but HYG able to take the victory. And unfortunately for this series, there was only one game because there were issues on the side of Titan Gaming Mox, so they had to end up forfeiting game 1 due to starting late. And then we'll jump into week number 7, where the first game was Goat Kings versus Titan Gaming Mox. Week 7, that's right. We see again they got there a little bit late, so missed their first 3 bans, but Go Kings had Nunu, Lissandra, Katarina, Misfortune, and Shen. Titan Gaming Mox had Voli, Nautilus, Galio, Zeri, and Jax. I like the Titan Gaming Mox lineup. Got a lot of good AoE on their end, so just looking for those big team fights.
A lot of engage and follow up engage on 10 Gaming Box.
Yep, if you can keep the Misfortune safe, then I think you can do pretty well, but they have a lot of dive, so if they get on the Misfortune / interrupt the cat ult, it could be tough,
But Beard picking up his Lysandre there.
Yes, sir. Pulling out that Lissandra support. And we see Titan Gaming Mox taking game number 1. Had Paytime 7 in for them in the top lane. Popped off 9, 1, and 11. Major Crockett unkillable with that 4-0 and 12. So, looks like they team fought well and got that game number 1 victory. Here we look at draft for game number 2. Looking like we didn't want to see that Jax again, or the Galio, so ban those out. Got Titan Gaming Mox on the blue side with Voli, Vex, Nautilus, Kaisa and Camille. Goat Kings with the Echo, Tarek, Tristana, Kale, and Pantheon.
This is the series I had to solo cast.
Oh yeah, this was your solo cast series. Check that one out. Blitzkrieg holding down the fort, did a pretty good job, despite a little bit of technical errors, but we still appreciate his committedness. Go King's going with a lot more scaling. I like the Tarek Tristana have the invulnerable ult, and Triss can jump in, be pretty aggressive. Another pretty standard team fight for Titan Gaming Box. Just gotta watch out for Camille getting scary. But we will look, and Go Kings taking game number 2 as Shunpo got very large, got to full items on Kale, and if you're against a level 18 full item Kale, that's a scary thing to fight.
Yeah, this is one that it was very back and forth, and there was a lot of late pushing, and Paytime was splitting top lane and trying to get the top split, and Goat Kings just sent everybody mid, and I think Paytime was hoping his team was going to be able to hold them off or at least slow play it, because he TP'd to bot lane to get into base and try to base race, but his team just parted like the Red Sea, and you're not going to be able to base race as Camille against a Tristana and a fully stacked Kale that's that late in the game.
Right.
So that was a very entertaining game to watch.
Yeah, definitely check out the VODs if you haven't seen it. And then Silver Scrapes draft, taking out the Jax and the Camille again. This time, Titan Game Box said no to Tarek, Kale, and Pantheon, and the Shen. Just taking them all away. So, Go Kings back on the blue side, grabbing the Skarner, Victor, Zyra, Ezreal, Zac. Titan Game Box got the Nautilus, Udyr, Galio, Jin, and Set. So now back to more of a meatball-y comp for Goat Kings. Not quite as much scaling, but you got Victor and Ezreal for that. And then kind of another Titan Gaming Box lineup with a lot of engage and beef. So we'll have to see who took this series. As Titan Gaming Box take the victory. Looking like another fairly back and forth one, 25 to 32, but Titan Gaming Box coming out on top, taking the series. We'll play to them. Second game from week 7 was Los Nemadas versus Bamba Bros. If you want to take it away.
Bomba Rose taking the Pantheon with the first pick, following up with the Shaco, getting left on the board. No respect there. The Yon, the Vigar, and the Urgot versus Los Amadas taking the Mordekaiser, Thresh, Renekton, and Twisted Fate, and Lissandra. So a lot of favored champs being able to get picked up, and then just the Los Amadas getting the cross map potential with the Twisted Fate. They like to play, being able to jump around, make sure they can get advantages in lanes there. So it's definitely in their favor. But again, need to be able to get past that Shaco. They get a lot of CC coming down from Bomb Bros as well.
For sure. And I think Urgot does fairly well into Renekton, so let's see how that matchup goes. But for game number 1, looks like Bomber Bros take it. Big Evbot, big delicious.
Huge.
It's kind of 2 solo laners doing their part.
What's it? Wheel Poco was on the Yon, interesting. That bot lane, and Redacted was on the Twisted Fate. Okay, they definitely had some flexes I was not looking for.
Yeah, they
trying to get with that AD.
They like
Twisted
to put
Fate.
Redacted on a lot of mage picks
Mid.
as well. Yeah, I didn't look at it too closely, but I guess it makes sense since you have Lissandra. I think it would have been nicer to have Sturmbopsy on the
Twisted Fate.
TF and then just an actual ADC, but not sure what the
Right.
plan was. But Bombers take advantage and take it. The fabled Pantheon Yon bot lane. They do talk about it. Game number 2.
Bombros taking the Pantheon, the Vigar again. Also rounding it out with a Ziggs, Skarner, and Belveth. And Lostomod is picking up the Jinx Milio. That's a popular combination we've seen. Galio, a Shyvana, which Patty Bulgaria is known for, and a Camille Top in this case. Also banning out the Urgot this time through.
Yeah, took out the Urgot, took out the Shaco, respecting the Clown. Then Bomber Bros banning away the Renekton.
And the cast from
I like this one
Hollywood.
better with the Galio. Camille Galio is a really nice combo. Camille jumps in, Galio ults onto Camille. We've already seen Milio Jinx can pop off if they get ahead, and we saw from the last week games when they played us, they did very well, and Bulgaria really likes Shyvana, so I like that list out as draft. Bomba Bros going back to a similar draft, going for their own AP bot lane. I think it's the Ziggs bot, and they look like Skarner top, which I think Camille does pretty well on this Skarner because you just scale up and then your secondary Q chunks him. We'll have to see who takes it. As game number 2 does go the way of Los Nemadas. Eli Wood having a good time, and Redacted did indeed get quite large, so well played to them in this game number 2, forcing it to Silver Scrapes.
Back
Draft number 3.
Lostomodus, Jinx, Braum, Galio, Shyvana again, Renekton. Milio is not taken away here, just not the selection into, I guess, this Blitzcrank here. So Yon, Blitzcrank, Vayne, Mordekaiser, Remus. I'm thinking this is not a Yon bot lane again, and instead putting the Vayne down there. But at least making them think about the Yon bot lane early.
Gotta think about it. Yeah, for sure. Looks like the Yone mid. A lot of CC for the Rammus slash Blitz pulls, and then more just to take someone out of the fights. I think I would have liked the Milio again. I don't know if maybe they picked the Braum to try and protect from Blitz hooks or something. Braum against Yone doesn't really block the Yone ult, so you can still get to the Jinx. But I do like the Galio again, the Shyvana again, and Renekton's kind of a 50-50 with Mord. You just gotta play it right. So, see who took the series. As Evbot getting pretty big on that Yone, along with Will Poco getting up to 8 kills on that Vayne. Redacted did get large, but wasn't enough for them to take the victory. Looks like a close one, but Bomba Bros take the series. Well played. Next up, we got Night Raid Owls against Stoner Nation. Night Raid on the blue side with Caitlyn, Sejuani, Braum, Ari, and Tryndamere. Stoner Nation has Ezreal, Karma, Trundle, Victor, and Urgot. Giving Minds Tryndamere is kind of scary. He's very good on that champion. Might just split push you to death, and then the Sejuani, Braum, Caitlyn, Ari are pretty solid 4-man to maintain the rest of the map and potentially win fights when people go to try to deal with Tryndamere. I think Urgot can do okay in the Trynd, you just gotta kite him out as best as possible. And then just kind of a lot of scaling with the Karma, Ezreal, and Victor, so they might be trying to stall out this game for the win, but we'll see who took it. And game 1 going the way of NRO, Mines, and Kaz very large on their respective carries.
Yeah, Kaz got picked up this week. I think Stuff had a conflict and had to leave.
Yeah,
so Excellence getting flecked to the mid, and then Kaz getting picked up after that 560 CS game.
Right. Stuff was no longer available. Welcome to the team, Kaz, and popping off already. Well played to them as we'll jump into draft for game number 2. Same sides. This time banning away Trynd and Camille. Good bans against Mines. They took out Urgot and Atrox. Ended up with Sejuani, Ari, Nautilus, Vayne, and Renekton. So, not looking like the Vayne top this week. But Star Nation has Vi, Victor, Zaya, Braum, and Malphite. I like the Zaya pick just to try to stay safe from getting dove on. Malphite's not bad into Renekton as long as you play safe early until you get a little bit of tankiness. And Vi's a pretty good pick to try to hold Vayne in one place and try to delete her. So we'll see if they were able to do that to Kaz. As it looks like they were not, because NRO takes the series 2-0. Mine's getting not as large, but pretty big on this one, as well as Kaz again, taking the series for their team. Well played to them. Next up, we got FF15 versus Kraken Slayers.
Look at this. This works out perfectly. FF15 taking Mordekaiser first overall. Senna, Skarner, Lux, and Nautilus. Kraken Slayer opting for the Maokai, Volibear, Kaisa, Darius, and the Brand. I've not seen a lot of was this a Brand support game or is this a Brand jungle game? Because you just flex it with Maokai actually right now.
This was.
Is that a Volibear mid or Brand? Okay, so Brand mid.
I think this is Brand
It'd be
mid.
interesting to see where these go.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of flexibility options
mid.
here.
They had a Nautilus top, which I found interesting.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, all those champions, and he picked Nautilus top. Like, okay. Okay.
I believe someone told Smoothie it was really good.
Is that a Mord mid then? What's the?
Yeah, Mord was Mord was jungle. Skarner son of butt.
Garner, Senna, bot lane.
Mhm.
You want to talk about that Pantheon, Yon bot lane. You want to talk about a Garner, not bot lane.
I mean, it's one where you do the fasting Senna, so you're just making
Or,
Skarner
yeah, sorry,
a tanky
not
boy.
Senna. Yeah, yeah, it worked. Yeah, it worked out in the end, but yeah.
But
I was thinking Skarner, Nautilus, bot lane, but no, that didn't happen.
yeah, it worked out for them. Covered in KB getting pretty large on those picks. Salt doing well on the Mord. Smoothie not having the best time. Maybe don't play Nautilus into Darius.
Right.
I was able to get pretty
But
big, but kind of the rest of the map was on fire for us. So the strong 4-man versus strong 1-man, you know which side is gonna win.
yeah, I mean, I would argue that Smoothie still did his job though. 049, he wasn't necessarily supposed to win that lane, but be there to be the engaged tank for his team, and
Yeah,
it looks like he still did his assigned job to now play support.
he did what he needed to do. There's just better picks like he could have just been Malphite.
Right. Yep.
But for game number 2, this time we're on the blue
Kraken
side, they're on the
Slayers
red
taking.
side.
Yep, Kraken Slayers taking away the Skarner for themselves. They got the Jinx Milio bot lane, Aurelion Soul, and Camille for the Hailstorm. 5 FF15 Blitzcrank Kaisa, Lilia Vigar, and the Tom Kench. So you're gonna have some peel there for their carries.
Yep. And they 5-banned me this game, which was quite rude.
They did indeed.
But yeah, we saw how disruptive the Skarner was that game number 1, so we said, hey, let's grab it. For game
But
number
not
2.
opting in for the Senna yourself?
No, we put it in the jungle.
Oh, that's right. You had banned the Senna. Right.
Yeah. And then we remembered how good Jinx and Milio were together, so we decided to run that as well. And then we got the Ace-Hole and the Camille. So this one, we were going for a lot of scaling. We just had to not feed super hard. They had a really good team fight comp.
Was this also one of the weeks that Critter had to move off of support? I didn't notice that in the previous game.
Yes.
Okay.
We had a sub this week, as we'll jump to the score screen. We had JFK subbing for us this week in the mid lane, and we see Kraken Slayer took game number 2, as we are known to do a fair amount of the time. I was kind of entering a little bit early, but I scaled up, so it all worked out. JFK played really well in the ASOL, got very large, and then Tactic and oh yeah, we had Tactic subbing for us as well. Tactic and Killer did really well in the bot lane this game, so made team fights a lot easier. Bentage got gigantic with the 16 kills on the Vigar, but wasn't enough for him this time.
He said, "I press R, and guys, I blew my load. What do I do?"
Did the thing. But now we'll jump to draft number 3, where
FF15 getting blue side, taking the Misfortune, Nautilus, Kane, Zyra, Malphite. So heating what you talked about earlier, taking the Malphite up there. Kraken
yeah,
Slayers on the Braum, Ash, Vi, taking the Zerath themselves, and the Ornn. So putting you on tank duty up there into the Malphite. So just hammering out rocks, I guess. How's that one go?
Ornn does pretty well in the Malphite. Its 2 champs are basically playing for the team anyways, but Ornn's brutal passive is very good into tanks. This
So it's kind of sit
one,
up there.
this one was more just standard team fights for both sides. I really wanted to play Tryndamere this game, but when they blinded the Malphite, I decided that was a bad idea.
Fair enough.
So I put myself on a more tanky champ, and was hoping we'd just be able to team fight it out pretty well. But we'll see who took it in the 2 team fight comps, which went the way of FF15. Well
FF15.
played to them. Panda got gigantic, just a little bit of botched fighting early / roams got him big, and then he just kept snowballing with it. So wasn't much we could
Keep
do once he got to a certain
keep
point.
keep giving that man MF. You know.
Yeah, we talked about banning it, but there's like a lot of things we were trying to ban. Probably
Right.
outthought ourselves, but well played to them. But we were doing our best with our 2 subs, and we appreciate them jumping in for us. As we go to game number 5 from week 7, which is Demonic Ascension versus HYG. Here we have Demonic Ascension on the blue side with Sivir, Rakan, Amumu, Hui, and a York. HYG with the Ash, Braum, Fiddlesticks, Talia, and Jax. I really like the HYG team comp. It's a lot of just CC into a big fiddle ult / Talia and Jax jumping in on people. I think Jax does really well into York, so that should be good for them as well. But got a solid scaling ADC and kind of a long range damage for Demonic Ascension, so we'll see who pulls it out.
Huawei actually getting picked up, not being banned out.
Away as HYG takes game number 1.
They
Everyone
do
doing pretty well.
they do take number 1, but you see Empire for Hire down there on that Huawei?
I do. He played very well. Was using that range, staying safe, but wasn't enough to put his whole team in the backpack. He's like, "Come on, guys, jump in. I'm trying."
385 farm also there for the Glizzler.
Yeah.
They've moved him around a few times this season.
Yeah, I
They
think
did have Halfling subbing here too.
it's
Moved all
partially
to the jungle.
with the sub, and I think they've been trying to move the Glizz around to where they need them. Sometimes works out, sometimes it doesn't. Didn't for that first game, but we'll see how they adjusted for game number 2, where HYG on the blue side have Ash, Rel, Elise, Set, and Yasuo. Demonic Ascension have Varus, Karma, Zac, Yone, and Renekton. So, kind of solid team fight meatball group on Demonic. Set can split push if you want to, better in the team fight, and they have a good Rel knockup if they can pair it up with the Yasuo ult. So let's see how they pull that off. As HYG takes game number 2, taking the series 2-0. Well played to them. Perfect getting very large on that set. Just having a good time in that side lane. And yeah, well played them. Pretty clean. Now the final game for week number 7 is insert name there versus Shifting Sands Gaming.
Shifting Sands Gaming on blue side. First picking that Skarner, as we've seen, very powerful pick. Varus, Karma, Syndra, that we've also seen. I don't think we've seen Syndra lose just yet. And a J4. INT taking Ashe, Maokai, Brand, Renekton, Tristana. So definitely an all-in on their side there. Picking the double 80 carry option there. And so is that a Tristana mid? I
Yeah,
don't think we've seen that in a little bit.
I'd guess it's mid. It does pretty well in the mages, where if they use their spells, you can kind of jump on them and try to blow them up real quick. It's been popular at MSI somewhat, in both ADC and mid, so definitely a flexible pick. And then they have Brand to pump out the magic damage for them. And Samsung, or God, Shifting Sands Gaming, got the big meatballs and the Skarner and Jarvan to help set them up. So I like their setup really well. It just depends on if they get poked out too much or anything. Where we see Shifting Sands taking game number 1, Mockingbird very large on that Syndra.
Windra.
So able to avoid getting poked out too much. Neither of the 80 carries getting too big on the other side. So well played them. Oh yeah, this is the week where they were trying deity top and omega mid.
Or are they trying? I think they actually just put deity top.
Yeah, I think they're sticking with it, but this was the first
Yeah.
week they were doing it, I think.
Ah, gotcha.
But well played them. Taking game number 1, jumping the draft number 2.
Shifting Sands Gaming sticking with the blue side, taking Skarner for themselves, getting that high priority there. Following up with the Zeri, the Syndra. Sorry, you're right. Taking the blue side again. So taking the Syndra, Tarek, Olaf, INT going with Zac, Ashe, Blitzcrank, Asol, and Kale. A lot of scaling there for INT to try to match the Syndra, I guess. But that an Olaf with the Tarek just running you down and invincible. That seems a little scary.
Yeah, they do have a fair amount of kite out, so if they can avoid his ult and have it wear off, that's not too bad. But yeah, it's a lot of scaling on the side of insert name there, so it could be an issue if they fall behind early. But if they keep it even, they've got that late game insurance. I feel like Shifting Sands should be able to take it, but it's all about trying to get that lead early. And they do not get there in the early game, looking like they scaled up to a big Kale and a big Asol.
I give Mont Blanc credit there too with 18 assists. It's the jungle, not giving away any gold himself.
Yeah, he's doing his job. 22 KDA, my goodness.
Yeah,
So probably I'd assume at least Kale's getting pushed in a fair amount. Was probably up top lane a lot, giving her some love. And just well played them, taking game number 2, pushing us to game 3.
Shifting Sands Gaming still on the blue side, going with the Jinx, Skarner, Lulu. So really looking to protect their Jinx, looking to protect their 80 carry, a Victor and a Silas. A Victor and a Silas. I think they're putting Skarner top lane here and a Silas jungle maybe, getting a little cheeky there.
Could be.
Into INT with an Aurelian Soul, Zac, Kale, Nautilus, and Jin. So for INT, they got their jungle and their Kale back, both top
And
lane.
Asol.
And Hazel. So yeah, top side of the board remains the same. Taking those high priority picks in the first round, going, we really don't care. We don't need the counter pick for that. Y'all wanted blue side, that's fine. We'll save it for a lane we want to put the resources into there.
Right. Yeah, a little bold, but definitely worked in the last game. Could have maybe switched out one of the bans, maybe the Blitz for the Zac, since it's popped off so hard that last game. But got a good lineup for Shifting Sands, so we'll see who took this series. As it looks like insert name there took the victory. Just go with the same setup on the top side, and it works out once again. well played to them.
Yeah, it was a Silas jungle there, attempting to match the Zac. I don't know what that matchup's like for a jungler, but I feel like Zac, if he gets any mana gold, is just gonna be able to bully you pretty hard.
Yeah, this kid's not tanky as well. Mockingbird looks
yeah.
like he did a fair amount, but just taken down by the scaling, it seems like. But
Yeah,
now
he was able to poke, get the damage down, but not finish off the kills. So, week number 8.
jumping into week 8 last week. We're here. We made it. And first game is Goat Kings versus Los Tomatas. Goat Kings taking out that Vlad, Renekton, Ezreal, Annie, and Thresh. Los Tomatas took away Seraphine, Lilia, Jin, Cat, and Yone. Goat Kings ended up with Lysandra, Mordekaiser, Tristana, Gragas, and Kassadin. Going for the big scaling of the mid lane. Los Tomatas had Amumu, Jinx, Karma, Milios, and Scion. Oh, the Scion's an interesting pick for them. It's going top, so it's. I don't think it's terrible on the Gragas, assuming that's a Gragas top.
Let's find out.
Let us find out. It was a
Mord top.
Mord top. It's also not terrible in Mord. He'd be able to tank you either way. But Los Tomatas taking game number 1.
Redacted and Ray was, though, just getting massive in the bot lane.
Turns out when they have Jinx, Milio, pretty good.
Or Bopsy doing his job as well. Don't try to discount anybody on the team, but yeah, Redacted and Ray was Jinx Milio. I feel like we've seen that before.
I think Sterbopsy should have done better. Do better, Sterbopsy. Come on now. Jump into draft number 2. Oh, I put those in the wrong order. Game 2, keeping similar bands. Took away that Scion in the second round. Took out that Amumu. On our side, I think they did similar bands, but Go Kings grabbed Brand, Rammus, Asol, Kog'Maw, and Shen. Les Matas says Karma, Nautilus, Morgana, Severe, and Camille. I think I remember a clip that was posted for the Camille, just kind of running away from a bunch of them, and then the team shows up. But we'll see that. Los Tomatas take the game number 2, take the victory. Big game for Eli Wood, popping off on the damage. Just kind of well played across the board for them. And Go Kings kind of trying to have fun with it at this point. Putting Hungry Hobbit top, Go King Beard, and the Hard Way bot. So we got the brothers bot lane, and then Shunpo jungling. Well played to them, with most of them just kind of off rolling now.
Brotherly shoving it out.
And then we got Bomba Bros versus Shifting Sands Gaming.
All right, Bob Rose starting it off, banning out the Aurelian Soul, the Azir, and the Volibear. Follow up with the Talia and the Skarner. Skarner actually making it through to the second round. Chipstands Gaming taking away the Ivern, Zac, Jinx, Yone, and Mordekaiser. Bomba first picking that Blitzcrank. Go ahead and set up the bot lane to pair that with Azaya. Follow up with Shaco, Silas, and Malphite. Going for that safe side top lane. Chipstands Gaming taking the Alistair, Vi, Samira, Urgot, and Vex. So yeah, a lot of dashes there. Like for the Vex to try to help counter out too. So that top lane matchup, you get the Malphite, Urgot. Bot lane, you get the Zaya, Samira. So kind of some interesting matchups there with Samira into the Blitzcrank going, you want to pull me? That's fine. I want to get on top of your AD carry anyways. So let's see how this one played out.
Let us see. Ba-da-bum. The Bomba Bros taking game number 1. All of them basically across the board popping off. My goodness.
That's a lot of kills. Was that a 31-minute game? So not quite 2 kills per minute, but trying
Well,
to give you the excitement, the entertainment there.
if you add them all up, they're above 2 kills per minute.
You're right. You're right. You take almost 2 kills for one team per minute. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Because yeah,
Goodness,
78
55 to
kills.
23. That is rough.
Yep.
Mockingbird still going positive.
Avius
So.
is actually 80 carry in this with MBG tactic being picked up, put in
Good.
goal, and Ward Chickens being picked up and put in support.
Yep, had a couple of subs needed, so might have thrown off
That's
a little
actually
bit of synergy.
a team change. That wasn't even subs. That was a elected team change to make a last minute push for playoffs.
Oh yes, you're right. You're right. So
Hittens and Beeson
trying to
were shipped off.
trying to shift it up, see how it works. But first game with a new team can sometimes be rough. We'll see how they adjusted going into game number 2.
All right, Shifting Sands Gaming banning out the Shaco, the Blitzcrank, not wanting to see those again. Still following up with the Ivern ban, taking away the Silas, not wanting to see that, and taking away the Yone. While but the Bomber Rose, taking away the Asol, Azir, Volibear, keeping the same 3 bans. Getting rid of the Victor and the Ari as well. So Shifting Sands Gaming prioritizing the Zac, following that with the Braum Draven bot lane, looking for that early pressure. Mordekaiser and Vigar, getting that additional scaling and AP damage down. Bomber Bros, I guess just going to give you one last thing is that they're kind of low 80 damage with just the Draven there. Bomber Bros picking up the Ezreal, Thresh, Scion, Akali, and Ornn. Been a little while since we've seen Akali. Not sure what the state is there, but getting picked up here.
I think still the same. Where once she gets ult, it's kind of ridiculous.
That's an Ornn and Scion, by the way, on the same team. That's a lot of beef.
They got
That's
the beefy boys.
so that's yeah, a bunch of beef trying to mash together between the Mord, the Zac, Ornn, Scion,
Right.
Braum Thresh for good measure. So
Yeah,
let's see how this one played out.
who
They got
can
some picks or what?
who can deal out more damage, Draven and Vigar or Akali and Ezreal? Let's see.
Right.
As victory goes to Shifting Sands Gaming.
That's
Um,
right. Avius popping off this time.
Big Draven getting those adoration stacks and cashing them in. Was almost full build at 32 minutes. My goodness. But it looks like a much closer game. Got those first game in the actual series shaken off and got that victory, forcing them to game number 3. As we'll jump into Jet Draft.
Shifting Sands Gaming. Following up with the similar same bands as the previous game with the Blitzcrank, Shaco, Ivern, Silas, Yone. Bomber Rose banning out the Asol, Volley Bear, Zac. So a bit of a mix shift there, leaving the Azir on the board. Then banning the Victor and the Ari. Shift Stance Gaming prioritizing the Maokai flex for the first pick, following up the Mordekaiser, Zillion, Jinx, and getting that Azir that was left on the board. Bomber Bros taking Braum, Amumu, Urgot, Vigar, Caitlyn. So again, running a couple back for themselves. Again, the Azir was a priority ban the first 2 games, and then just being left open in the second round. So went from a first round ban. I don't know if it's just they weren't thinking about it or what, or just with the team comps didn't think they'd pick it. But Shifting Gaming did in fact pick it. So let's see how if they had to pay the price.
Yeah, for sure. That is here, especially against Vigar, should be able to scale up pretty well. I'm interested to see how the Zillion did. It's been a while since I've seen him. But yeah, let's see who took it. As Mama Bros take the victory, 33 to 11. So
Definitely not paying the price for that pick. Evbot, I guess you're able to use his cages effectively, and then survive in lane and pick off, and then Wheel Poco popping off in that bot lane. The Avius Ward's Chicken attempting to scale up in the bot lane, not paying off. The early game aggression from game 2 seems to be what was working in this matchup this week.
yeah, it's a much more oppressive lane against them as opposed to game 2 where they could be the aggressive ones. Because like if you get hit by a Braum Q, Caitlyn can auto you 3 times pretty easily, get that damage down. So Well played, Bombas Bros, taking the victory. And going to game 3 from week number 8, which was NRO versus FFS FF15. How you all doing in the chat? You still awake? We're almost through all the games. We're almost there. Then we'll look at the games for this week and the playoff standings.
Preview coming up.
But NRO on the blue side, taking out the Senna, Morg, Misfortune, Zach, and Zareth. F15 banned away Caitlyn, Sleeper, Caitlyn Vane, Vigar, Trinamir, and Nasus. NRO grabbing that Jinx, Braum, Shyvana, Swain, and Camille. Camille, another scary one to let Minds be on. F15 has the Mord, Twitch, Maokai, Lux, and Urgot. So, 2 pretty solid team fight comps. As long as Twitch can pop up in good positions, they can ult and burn down a lot of people. Thank you, Minds. You also are a rock star. Got kind of the AoE burn from the Swain. Camille, who's just going to scale up and be scary. And Jinx, who, as we've seen in many other games, is very good at popping off, getting those rockets for AoE damage. So.
And this is a very important week as well because these teams are vying for who's gonna be first in their division here.
Yep, finishing up the division games in a row, sitting as one of the only one-time defeated teams, and FF15 trying to take them down a peg so they can take their #1 spot for the region. We'll see.
Shout out to KB Jelly there.
Thank you,
KB Jelly currently on a 10-game streak, a 10-watch streak. Thank you.
Always here to support us. We appreciate you. Game #1 going the way of NRO. Mine's getting very large, and Kidbu and Kaz also doing very well. As well as Danny Taka with those 19 assists. Look at that, man. I think this one got streamed, right? Because I remember seeing Mines a lot of times just jump on the enemy 80 carry and blow them up. Or maybe those were clips that were posted.
I think that was just clips, week 8.
I believe he got pretty big, and then just Covert wasn't allowed to play the game because he would jump on him and second queue him and basically one-shot him.
This did get streamed.
I did, okay. Yeah, I thought I remembered these ones. So if you didn't see these ones, check out the stream VOD. Definitely were some fun games, as we'll jump into draft #2. NRO still on the blue side. Keeping same bands, basically. FF15 deciding to take away that Camille. Probably a good choice. And they pick up Caitlyn, Braum, Corky, Poppy, and Set for NRO. FF15 grabbing Leona, Varus, Zach, Zyra, and Vi. So a lot more lockdown this time for FF15. Don't have to deal with the Camille for Covert, so hopefully he's allowed to play the game a little more. Big worry is if Set can ult Zach back on top of him. But I think they have a little bit better setup on side of FF15 as far as the CC goes.
Yeah, I mean if the who's pulling Poppy? Because Poppy's jungle here in this case. Yeah. As long as Poppy uses the dash deny, it's not fun for the Leona and Zach. Vi just hit our all-in button. Nope, denied.
Denied.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't think it stops the Vi ult, but it definitely would stop Leona and Zach.
Okay, is it not it doesn't count as a dash?
She goes unstoppable when she's in it, I believe. We'll see who took game #2, which went the way of FF15.
21.
Assault, unkillable, 6-0-20. 21 kills on Covert. Says, thank goodness I don't have a Camille jumping on my face every 10 seconds.
They did take away the MF, but yet Covert still just popping off there.
Yep. Yeah, just I remember this game. It's really well played by FF15 in this one. Did what they needed to do, kept objective controls pretty well, and took them down to force game number 3, where we have Enero taking out the Vi this time, along with Senna and MF, and Mord and Trundle. FF15 not banning the Camille this time. Left it up in round 1, where we see it got picked. But they did take out Caitlyn and Jinx, so Enero has Sejuani, Galio, Camille, Karthus, and Leona. FF15 with Morgana, Varus once again, Poppy, Lilia, and Ornn. Kind of a similar setup. I believe this was a Karthus bot lane.
Yep.
So just kind of bringing the AP damage from there. Have Camille to bring the AD damage, so it keeps them even though they're a little bit AP heavy in this setup. Salt has his Lilia, which he performs pretty well on. And then Poppy was support with KB playing on it, I believe. But we'll see. The series went the way of NRO. Mine's popping off once again on that Camille. Kaz, despite getting killed a lot early, just still scaled up and did the damage he needed to do. So, well played to NRO, taking the series.
Dainty, you keep asking about the assists, man. You got 5 extra kills you didn't need right there. You could have been 5 more assists on that board.
True. Could have buffed up those assist numbers. Next series is Kraken Slayers against HYG. This one was also streamed? Yes.
Yes, because you played not on. Right. So, Kraken Slayers banning out the Jinx, Nocturne, Zac, Alawi, and Jax. HYG banning Vladimir, Volibear, Maokai, Trundle, and Mordekaiser. So a lot of the usual suspects there. Kraken Slayers taking the Skarner. We knew that wasn't going to go top. Thresh, Sivir, Yon, Urgot. I don't think I've seen you play it yet. HYG picking up Ashe, Braum, Lilia, Aurelion Sol, and Set. So feeling comfortable with that Set into the Urgot top lane. I think we have some volatile lanes here early, especially with mid and top. Is that more of a? I think you can try to kite him out until 6, where he can just run at you.
Urgot does pretty well in the set. So I was very fine with that pick.
Gotcha. I feel like both those lanes level 6 kind of get a little more volatile.
Right. Their Ashe Braum can be scary early, but Sivir has the scaling on our side, and then we're hoping Yon can take out Asol a little bit, but we'll see how it went. Where HYG took game number 1, 28 kills
Jeffrey
to
crazy.
28.
Jeffrey crazy popping off there, almost a 9 KDA. Hailstorm, you get the almost over a 3-to-1 KDA, but still just not quite enough in the tank there. Astros did his thing. Looks like he got pretty big there. Took out Bonkers a lot, but just came down to the team fights and the objectives. Looked like you got all 6 Void Grubs in this one, but
yeah, we got a bunch of Void Grubs. We got some of the dragons. The biggest issue was we had 2 parents we probably should have gotten, and they both got stolen. One by a Lilia Ball and one by a Bramult.
this was the Bramult one. Yeah, 0424 Marbra. Yeah. Oh, man. Check that out in the Discord.
Ponker said I got gapped this game. Not gapped enough, apparently. But yeah, check out the VODs. This game was pretty intense, and there were some big steals within it. So we'll jump to game number 2.
HYG taking out the Vlad, Vali, Maokai, Urgot, and Trundle. Kraken Slayers taking out the Jinx, Nocturne, Ashe. So both sides seeing something they didn't want to see again. Lilia and Jax, or not Jax, sorry, Zach. HYG picking up Braum, Lucian going for a lot of early power in that bot lane. Annie, Jax, Rek'Sai into Kraken Slayers, Echo, Nautilus, Aurelion Soul. Flipping that to the other side. Jin and Dr. Mundo. So thinking the Mundo into that Jax, just get beefy, tanky on your own, scale up slowly in the game. Is what the
I
game
get
plan
this
here.
game. Yeah, there's a little bit of gaps going on this game. As we look at it, 38 to 12. Ooh.
I would
um,
say he did some gap in there, but definitely got to shout out TJ. He was knocking him up or setting him up, knocking him down there as well. He was very active on the map this game.
yeah, TJ was really good. He was invading a lot. Kind of kept Critter from being able to clear his jungle. And had a lot of really good ganks. I also think on our end we were a little bit out of it just from game one because we had a lot of stuff not go our way. So it was unfortunate. I probably should have just played Garen instead of Mundo. I was trying to be cute. TJ no knocker upper. It's true. He's got children everywhere. But well played to HYG, maintain their 2-0 streak and set themselves up well for the final week and trying to fight for that number one spot in playoffs. Here for game number 5 in week 8, we have Stoner Nations versus Demonic Ascension. Stoner Nation banned away the Swain, Jin, Talia, Renekton, and Hwei. Demonic Ascension took out Galio, Trundle, Jinx, Malzahar, and Lux. Stoner Nation grabbing that Zaya, Blitzcrank, Gragas, Lilia Poppy. Demonic Ascension has Rakan, Aphelios, Sejuani, Rise, and Yone. Aphelios is one pick where you can either pop off really hard with them or end up not doing much. I kind of like the rest of the setup for going for a Wombo kind of team fight though.
Double sub that week for Demonic Ascension with yours truly support Rakan and then having to last minute pick up H2O Modlock to play mid on that Rise.
Ooh, Modlock in the mid lane. I don't think he's practiced as much, so I might might say Stoner Nation might have won this first game. But Zaya, Blitz, Gragas, Lee, and Poppy just kind of a big team fight.
Mods actually switched. Mods actually switched to being a mid main.
He's a mid main? What a man.
He's a
All
mid
right.
main now. Yep.
Well, let's see how it went. Where game number 1 going the way of Stoner Nation. Modlock doing pretty well in that Rise, as well as the Glizzler doing well on the Yone, but a big boomstick Poppy and Duck Butter Toast on the Zaya taking the victory. Looks like they did get Soul and a Baron, so just had those objective controls on lock as well.
It was a slog.
For game number 2, Demonic Ascension on the blue side, taking out Galio, Trundle, Poppy, Renata, and Rek'Sai. Stone Nation taking down Swain, Yone, Asol, Mord, and Sejuani. Demonic Ascension end up with Jinx, Maokai, Talia, Zinzao, and Tahm Kench. Stone Nation have Callista, Gragas, Lux, Blitzcrank, and Aatrox.
Shout out to the Glizzler on the Tahm Kench saving my Maokai thick booty several times.
It's nice to have that Tahm Kench ult to keep you safe. I know Maokai is one of your go-to supports, and then Jinx, you can keep yourself pretty well. And Talia's in, Tahm Kench pretty solid. Gragas, nice for all the knockups and everything. It's kind of two pretty good team fight comps. See who.
Callista Blitzcrank bot lane though. That was an interesting matchup there for Duck Butter.
Right. You can get pulled in, or you can throw the Blitzcrank in to knock him up and then pull him again. But
Yep.
for game number 2, victory going the way of Demonic Ascension.
Modlock back in bot lane for games 2 and 3.
Oh, okay, you guys switched it. I gotcha.
Yep.
He popped off pretty hard in that Jinx game number 2. Pharaoh doing work on that Xin Zhao. So we'll play to you guys taking game number 2. As we'll go to draft 3 for the Silver Scrapes. And we have Stoner Nation taking out Asol, Swain, Yone, Xin Zhao, and Talia. Don't want to see any of those 3 champs. Demonic Ascension taking out Trundle,
B.
Poppy, Jinx, Galio, and Lux. Nation grabbing that Skarner. Still pretty strong, at least in this patch. I think it got nerfed a little bit for this week. Rel, Jin, Renekton, and a Vigar.
My Rel.
My Rel. Demonic Ascension grabbing Nautilus, Severe, Mordekaiser, Zac, and Ari. So yeah. More good team fighting comps on both sides. Just gotta see which team executes again. Technically, you could have grabbed the Rel since you had to pick before them if you really wanted it.
Listen. I just follow what the team wanted to do, okay?
Listen, Linda. Alright, let's see who took it. As looks like Demonic. Oh wait, no. Stoner Nation taking the victory over Demonic Ascension. Put up a good fight with the double sub, but not quite getting there for you guys. Looks like they had a big Crocodile and Jin pumping out that damage. But yeah, that Skarner just is so disruptive.
Absolutely. No, it was well played to them.
For sure, for sure. And now, the final game from week number 8. Titan Gaming Mox versus insert name there.
Right. Time giving Mox. Banning out the Swain, the Zac. There was a misban here. Aurelion Soul, a Moo. Insert name there, banning the Aatrox, Yone, Vladimir, Vex. Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
Nefiri.
Nefiri, thank you. I was like, I cannot remember the dog's name. Titan Gaming Box though
Doge.
on blue side taking the Nautilus.
The misman was Lilia.
Okay. Titan Gaming Box taking on the blue side taking the Nautilus. I think that's more of they're backed into blue side here. Kaisa, Olaf, Sejuani, Vigar. Not Olaf, Sejuani. That's going to be a nice top lane ganking if you can get on top of them. Insert name there, taking the Maokai, Ashe, Jax, Ivern, and Akshan, saying, we're going to jump away from you. You're not going to get on top of us.
There's Ivern and Akshan. That's very interesting. It was an Akshan mid. Oh. Okay. Yeah, kind of an interesting draft. Very aggressive. You really want that Akshan to bully the Vigar. So we'll see if Sejuani came mid any and bullied him back, or if they were able to run away with it. As game number 1 goes the way of Titan Gaming Box. We'll play the game. Bunny Lord getting big on that Olaf. Major Crockett, Unkillable Demon King, 3-0-8. It's like just a solid game all around for them.
I don't know. Is that unkillable anymore? I don't think that was unkillable. Is it 50% KP?
I think it's 30%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's 50.
Okay.
It's kind of weird when it pops off or not, but he didn't die at the very least.
That's right. Unkillable.
That's what I believe unkillable is. Anyways, draft number 2. We've got
draft number 2. Go ahead. Right. Titan Gaming Mox on blue side, banning out the Swain, Lilia, Zac, Moo, Volibear. Insert name there, banning is keeping the first 2 bans the same from the first round, but taking away that Olaf from Bunny Lord. Also banning out the Yone and the Darius. Tide Gaming Box again on blue side, taking the Nautilus, Kaisa, Vex, Sejuani, and Tryndamere. So not too dissimilar of a team for them. Insert name there, taking the Maokai, Misfortune, Asol, Fiddlesticks, and Malphite. That is a lot of CC coming out from insert name there.
Right.
Definitely like to see it. I know there's you know there's a lot of CC on the side of Tide Gaming Box, but just the AOE CC, just you don't get to play your champion is absurd on insert name there.
It's also really nice they got to pick Malphite as a counter into Tryndamere, especially when you're looking to negate one of their high salary players. Unless you really mess up, that matchup's kind of unplayable for Tryndamere. So should be a very good negation for them, along with all the CC for the team fights. But let's
One
see.
is this also Bunny versus Deity,
I believe it
the top
is.
lane matchup?
Yeah. So we'll see if it worked out for them as planned, which it looks like it did. Insert name there. Taking game number 2. Omega getting big on that dragon in the mid lane, along with Timberland, bot. And yeah, Bunny
Bunny Lord
Lord.
still splitting 330 farm, but just not getting the kills to really snowball himself.
Yeah, you can still farm in that lane pretty well. It's just you're never gonna kill the Malphite basically, so you're not gonna like snowball a lead or anything.
Yeah,
But
that's
well played to them. Forcing game
game
number
3.
3 as we jump into the final draft.
All right, insert name there. Banning the Vladimir, Aatrox, Olaf. They're finally on the blue side. The Darius, and taking away the Gwen. Tiny Gaming Mox taking away the Swain, Lilia, Zac. Not wanting to see that Malphite again, and the Ashe. Insert name there. Prioritizing the Maokai. I always love to see that. It's one of the first picks. Got the Fiddlesticks, Asol. So again, going with some of that Wombo combo AoE CC. Following up with a Sivir and a Poppy. Titan Gaming Box taking the Nautilus, Kaisa, Vi, Vex, and Mordekaiser. So going to be able to pick somebody out if they go into any of the projected fights with the Mordekaiser. Again, get the long range engage from the Vex. Yeah, so I'm kind of seeing it. The Nautilus into the Sivir though, it's not going to feel good. You're going to throw your hook and she's going to deny it. So, all right, let's see how this went for our final game.
Yeah. Going back to the similar Asol Fiddle for INT. Hoping to work out again for them. And then I think Poppy does pretty well into Mordekaiser because she's just tanky enough. It doesn't matter too much when you get ulted. But yeah.
Pretty sure I saw the end of this
Who
game.
took the series? It went the way of insert name there, keeping themselves at a single loss for the season going into the final week as well. So we've got 3 single loss teams coming into the final week vying for that first place spot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked to Deity after this game, and he was like, "Yeah, I just got to basically stiff arm Bunny Lord whenever these objectives came up late game,
Right.
just channeling his KB, just ulting away the Mordekaiser, going, nope, you're not here anymore. We're gonna go take these fights now."
Yeah, it definitely works out. You just push them away, like, no, you're gonna fight me. You're not gonna hit my carries. Alright, I'm gonna knock you away from the fight. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
delay.
I think there's a pretty good clip. I don't know if it got posted or not, but there's a pretty good one of Bunny Lord trying to disrupt the second Baron take,
Right.
and Deity just not having any of it, going, no, 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 no.
Yeah, we see Bunny did get pretty big, but was able to be kept in check long enough for 2 Barons and the eventual victory for insert name there, so well played to them. And we made it! We've got through all the games, so now we'll look at the games coming up for the final week of the normal season. So we've got, in week number 9, Goat Kings versus the Bomba Bros, Los Nomadas versus insert name there, Night Raid Owls versus Kraken Slayers, FFS FF15 versus Demonic Ascension, Stoner Nation versus HYG, and Titan Gaming Mox versus Shifting Sands Gaming.
We're gonna shout out the current prediction leaders as Doom Vanilla and our very own Hailstorm right here, both sitting at 69%,
Yeah, but
just barely ahead of me. But everybody else, don't worry, predictions are not closed yet. Still have a little bit of time. If you haven't filled those out, go ahead and fire those off.
Yep, this is the final week for the regular season predictions. Doom Vanilla caught up to me last week. I think I had a 1 point lead, so now we're back tied at that 69%. Nice. And we'll see if one of us can take the solo victory or if someone else passes us up with better picks in the final week.
And we have looked, we have confirmed they do not have the same picks this week. So there will be a difference somewhere. There will be a change somewhere, most likely.
Exactly. But coming up, most of the games are important for playoff standings or making it into the playoffs. We know we have NRO, HYG, and INT all fighting for first place, and we've got 4 or 5 teams fighting to make it into the playoff brackets. We'll look at that right after we look at these matchups. Goat Kings, Bomba Bros. Goat Kings, they are eliminated, so they've been playing it off rolls, just having a good time, so probably Bomba favored. Los Namadas INT, always a good fight. We've got the 2 brother captains against each other, so that's always fun. NRO Kraken Slayers were the inter-regional fight once again, and if we can pull off the upset, we could secure ourselves that playoff spot, I believe. FF15 Demonic Ascension also fighting to make it into the playoffs, and FF15 want to look at their seeding. Star Nation HYG, I believe HYG is fighting for that first place. Star Nation's fighting to make it in.
Yep.
And I believe same thing for both Titan Gaming Mox and Shifting Sands for
Titan
trying to
Gaming
make
Mox
it in.
Titan Gaming Mox, I believe, has been eliminated. We'll get to the next one. Shifting Sands really looking though to get in there. It seems like you get to 4 wins, you're most likely going to be in the season.
Right.
Titan Gaming, I think, can only get to 3. We'll double check on the next screen what it will take to get there.
If you get to 3 wins, you have an outside chance of making it, but 4 is where you feel pretty safe. But first, we'll check out the overall predictions for this week, which we're lacking on the votes right now, so make sure if you haven't done them, get them in. We've only got 7 votes so far, but 100% people believe in Bomba Bros against the Goat Kings. If you look at the trend for the season, probably a fair pick.
Goat Kings, your time to go out with a yell instead of a whimper. Time to step up.
Yeah, just give a middle finger to everyone who voted.
That's right.
Los Namadas versus insert name there. Big support for insert name there. But
One vote.
Never
One
count
vote believing.
out Los Namadas. They have the big brain of Snurpopsy in the draft, so they can find a way potentially. For Night Raid Owls versus Kraken Slayers, highly favored for Night Raid Owls. Also understandable based on the records, but we're trying to upset their goal to end in the number 1 seed spot.
Can they take down the number 1, or will they just become a footnote on their road to the playoff?
If we can win them and we can become like one of the lower seeds in the playoffs, but we also beat the first seed, then it's like, do we want to play them? Do we not?
Yeah, if you knock them off and somehow make them like the number 2 seed or number 3 seed, you have a high
Right.
probability of playing them again.
It'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
For FF15 versus Demonic Ascension, big belief in FF15. I think that one will be a closer matchup, though. It could definitely go either way as long as both teams have their full roster.
Yeah, FF15 just playing for seeding as well. I think they're pretty comfortable with where they are. It's very hard to move up above the other. I don't think they can move up past the other 3, and I don't know that anybody can catch them. So I think they're kind of locked into the 4th place. So we'll see how they handle this week. But very critical for Demonic Ascension.
I think they're 5th or 6th right now.
Oh, you're right. They'd be 5th seed, but they're 4th based on record, but they're 5th because they're not a division winner.
Right. For Star Nation HYG, big belief in HYG, with another 1 vote for Star Nation taking it. again, tracks with the records, but can never count a team out. And then pretty close vote between Tight Gaming Box and Shifting Sands Gaming, which is I feel pretty accurate. This was one of the ones when I was voting on for this week. I was unsure which way to go because both teams have performed well and both teams have looked a little shaky. So it's just depending on who shows up for this final week.
Yeah, Titan Game Mox really can play the role of spoiler here. Shifting Sands Gaming looking to make playoffs if they can pick up this win, but again, got to get there, got to get through Titan Gaming Mox. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
And I just need all the teams to go the way I voted, so then I can be the prediction winner. So just everyone read your scripts, okay? And I will look at the standings and have the note down here for who's playing who, in case you forget. But the big fight right now for first place between NRO, INT, and HYG, all at 7-1, very close in the points for and points against.
Yeah. Insert name there, obviously needing to 2-0, and then Night Raid Owls going either 2-1 or losing to pass them. HYG again needing both teams in front of them to lose, I believe. Again, could potentially go if they go 2-0 and Night Raid Owls goes 2-1. We'd have to start looking more closely at what our tiebreaker would be.
Right.
But again, all three of those teams pretty comfortably in the top three. It's really all just for seeding. Bomber Bros currently sitting in fourth place overall, 4-4. That being said, if they were to lose this week to Goat Kings and Los Tomatos was to win, Los Tomatos would take the division and would be the fourth overall seed. So Bomber Bros still needing to execute versus Goat King. Goat King still looking for the first series win and could play spoiler there and come off in a big way. FF15 again pretty locked into the fifth role. I think I'll say if they were to go 0-2. I think actually even if they were to go to 0-2, I don't think Los Tomatos can pass them.
Yeah, I don't think they can.
I think Bomber Bros. Yeah, no, so I think they're
Take
pretty well locked
losses.
into the fifth seed. So we'll see how they handle this week. Los Tomatos, they're currently sitting at our sixth seed right now because they're the only other ones with 4 wins. So again, they're playing for fourth or for sixth. And then now we get into the interesting part between 7 and 10, with these 4 teams here sitting at 3 and 5, with trying to get to the magic number of 4, most likely going to put you into playoffs with so many of these teams with the uphill battle, with Stoner Nations playing HYG. Shifting Sands is playing Titan Gaming Mox, so in theory have an easier avenue than their counterparts, as we'll see here with Demonic Ascension having to play FF15. Again, we'll see how FF15 handles it. And then Kraken Slayers having to play the number 1 currently NRO. So they're uphill climb for 3 of those teams, with teams already in the top 5 of the playoffs. So we'll see if those teams really are giving it their all to vie for it, or just going to be like, okay, we'll take a week off. But we do have a break coming up after this week. We do have 1 week off. And we also have 2 tournaments that week, so please tune into those. Please sign up.
Yep, we have the Arena tournament and the TFT tournament, so if you're interested in playing any of those, make sure you sign up, find your partner, and it should be a good time. Basically, if you're one of these 3 and 5 teams, and yes, Hobbit, there are 4 of them.
There's also 4 is also the magic number, Hobbit. You did hear me say that correctly. You get to 4 wins, you are most likely in. If for some reason, our multiple top teams lose this week, and we get a lot of those upsets, then we'll go back into these tiebreakers and really make your admin team work for you to make sure that we're getting the right teams in there and we're getting the right seating in place for playoffs. But we'll have a little bit of time to digest that.
I think the only way Titan Gaming Box can come in is if they won and then they had the right head-to-heads. If they don't have head-to-heads, then they wouldn't be able to get enough points for to overtake anyone. So the head-to-heads would be the only way they could make it if they get the victory this
Yeah,
week and want to jump up.
we'd have to dig through the records there to see if they have enough. If everybody was to finish 3 and 5, but I think, or so was it 3 and 6?
Yeah, if all the
Again,
were
they
3
could-
and 6, then it would depend on head-to-heads and points for and points against.
Right, but yeah, I don't think, everybody losing, everybody going chalk. I don't think we're gonna do that. And Beard showing up, chiming in. He's gonna have the first pick next season secured. So now he can go ahead. Now that he's big brained it all for next season, now he can go ahead and knock off Bomber Bros this week, right, Beard?
Yeah, you can take the
Yeah.
victory this week. Even if you win, you'll still be first pick, so you're allowed to try this time.
That's right. Just like his Giants are used to doing. But all right. So that's the
this
playoffs.
season was a building season, okay?
That's right. This season was a let's try some things. Let's figure out what works, what doesn't work, and yeah. Oh man, but
You should have thrown next season, because Deity's gonna get capped. Okay, you messed up.
yeah, that's right, Hobbit. What works?
Man. But yeah, just
Maybe not the drawing board, but
some ribbing just for fun, you know. But thank
That's
you all
right.
for tuning in. If you have any of those primes or subs you want to toss our way, we will still appreciate it and give you those 30 days of love. And check out live games tomorrow. I believe we're doing Stoner Nation versus HYG. And we'll see you later. Have a good one.
see you.
I never thought hide is essential. They're crude and unspeakably plain. Maybe they've a gleaming of potential. If I lied to my vision, their brain. Know that your powers of retention are as what as a warthog's backside. As sick as you are, pay attention. My words are a matter of pride. It's clear from your vacant expression. The lights are not all upstairs, but we're talking kings and successions. Even you can't be caught unawares. Prepare for the chance of a lifetime. Be prepared for sensational news. A shining new era is tiptoeing nearer. Just listen to teacher. I know it sounds sordid, but you'll be rewarded when at last I am given my dues. And justice deliciously squared. Be prepared. Yeah, be prepared. We'll be prepared. For what? For the death of the king. Why? Is he sick? No fool. We're gonna kill him. It's Simba too. Great idea. Who needs a king? No king, no king. La 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 la. Idiots. There will be a king. Hey, but you said I will be king. Stick with me, and you'll never.